Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I have learned as I have grown into the person that I am today. And I know when I post this video, people are going to be like, is this a vlog? He's sitting outside on the front porch. Is this a vlog? This doesn't seem normal. Is this a vlog? No, I just got home from Cousin Fun Day a little while ago, and I was sitting out here. It is such a beautiful day in Indianapolis. The last 2 days, it has been snow and like 30 degrees for a high. It's supposed to be 70 on Saturday. Indianapolis weather is so strange. Now it's starting to feel a little bit like a vlog, isn't it? Okay, so the last 2 days have been super cold and snow. I'm not sure if I love it or not. It feels a little early for it, but it is very cozy. But today, all the snow's melted. It's like 55, I think, outside, maybe a little bit warmer than that. It's a beautiful day. The sun is shining. So I came home from Cousin Fun Day with my cousin Caroline, and I did a haul video, and then I did a review video, and I was going inside to like start filming some other videos, and I thought upstairs, and I was like, well, maybe I should just sit out here and do my Peterisms video for the day. So here we go for the Peterisms video for the day. Are you guys ready? I brought both of the meditation books out with me today by Melody Beatty, so I thought that we could read some of these while we're sitting outside enjoying the nice weather. Now, I will be out here vlogging later. I've been vlogging in that chair because by the time I get out here, it is already dark. So I'm hoping that that is not the case today. I'm hoping that today I get outside before it is like pitch dark outside because it's been really dark the last couple days. Okay, so today is November 12th. Happy November 12th. Happy, what is today? Happy Wednesday. Let's get into the meditations and see what the meditations have to say to us today. Okay, so November 12th in the language of letting go. I can't remember which one I read yesterday. Is God's will. Oh no, that's December 12th. We don't need to skip ahead a month. Okay, November 12th, timing. Oh, that might be a good one. I feel like I read Discipline. I did read this yesterday from Discipline. So today's in the language of letting go is timing. And then in Journey to the Heart, November 12th is wash old pain away. Maybe we should read both of these. Maybe we should read both of these. Oh, release guilt. I was going to read that one the other day, wasn't I? Which one do I want to read? Let's see. Let's read timing, and then we'll talk about wash old pain away, because I think that's such a hard thing to do, is to wash old pain away. So, November 12th, in the language of letting go, is timing. Oh, I just love, like, sitting out here and just, like, listening to the wind blow and the leaves going down the street and stuff. Wait until the time is right. It is self-defeating to postpone or procrastinate. It is also self-defeating to act too soon before the time is right. Sometimes we panic and take action out of fear. Sometimes we take untimely action for revenge or because we want to punish someone. We act or speak too soon as a way to control or force someone to action. Sometimes we take action too soon to relieve feelings of discomfort or anxiety about how a situation will turn out. An action taken too soon can be as ineffective as one taken too late. It can backfire and cause more problems than it solves. Usually, when we wait until the time is right, sometimes only a matter of minutes or hours, the discomfort dissolves, and we're empowered to accomplish what we need to do. In recovery, we are learning to be effective. Our answers will come. Our guidance will come. Pray, trust, wait, let go. We are being led. We are being guided. Today, I will let go of my need to control by waiting until the time is right. When the time is right, I will take action. This is such an important meditation, I think, but something that I've learned later in life. I think, especially in my youth, and I would say after I got sober, so 23, let's say to 30, I really tried to force outcomes in my life. You know, like wanted this to happen at a certain time, wanted to do this. I think part of it is that I always felt like I was playing catch up because I got sober at 22 and a half. You know, I graduated from college 2 years later than most of my friends. I started graduate school a lot later than a lot of my friends. And so I feel like in my youth, I felt like I was trying to play catch up. I can remember when Alex and I started dating, and we would go to people's houses that were like, you know, our friends that were like my age, and they had these $500,000 houses and houses in Florida. And I think on a material level, on a financial level, I constantly was comparing myself to somebody else and what I didn't have. And, you know, they have this house and they have this lake house and I don't have this and I don't have that. And I think I felt really insecure in that it took me, you know, so long. And I can remember, I've shared this story a lot, going to my high school reunion and all these people coming up to me and just being like, oh my God, you guys have the coolest life and whatever. And I thought, our life is like, we were taking real cheap trips. We were, you know, like, you know, going on very cheap dates and things like that. But we did have a fun life. Alex and I had a great life, you know? And I think it's always perspective of what somebody else's looks like on the other side. Just because somebody has more financially, whatever, I think I was constantly basing success or happiness on that, right? And that's not necessarily this, I mean, I know that today, but I always felt like I was behind on things. And I can remember, you know, talking to somebody later in life, and they said that each person's journey is different. And I think, like, the high school reunion, like, taught me that. Like, where I'm at in my journey is completely different than where somebody else is at in their journey, so to speak, right? And I also had a friend of mine that told me many years ago, when I was talking about comparing my life to other people, he said, you know, we always lose by comparison. Like, if you compare your life to somebody else's, you always lose by comparison. What I know at 53 that I didn't know at 23 is that some things that I wanted to happen at 25 were not supposed to happen for me until I was 45. Had they happened to me at 25, I don't know that I would have fully understood them, had gratitude for them, or even known what to do with them. Some things I wanted to happen at 30 still haven't happened yet. They may never happen, or they might happen when the timing is right. I have learned in my life that things happen in my life the way that they're supposed to happen. I don't necessarily believe in some divine synchronicity or overall planning of things, but I do think that when I'm ready, it's like when the student is ready, the teacher appears. Like, I'm a big believer in that. Like, timing happens for me. Like, things don't happen for me in my life until I'm ready to fully understand them or ready to accept them. And that doesn't mean that's like a divine thing going on with the world. That might mean I'm not ready to understand the impact of that lesson or the impact of that opportunity until I've gotten to a certain point in my life. That opportunity might have presented itself 10 times before. I just wasn't aware enough to see it because I hadn't learned the lessons I needed to learn. Some things that I look at in my life now, opportunities that I've had, I look and I think to myself, if this had happened 20 years ago, like I would have made such a mess of it. Like, it wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have turned out the way that it did, you know? And other things that happened too soon, like the meditation was talking about, some things that happened to me too soon, I didn't really appreciate the gravity of it or whatever. I mean, sometimes, like, I'm very grateful that I got sober early. But friends of mine that got sober a little bit later than I did, let's say even 10 years later, like a little bit more of their lived experience, or like, you know, when I got sober at 22 and a half, like my amends process and making amends to people, by 22 and a half, I didn't realize that they were doing work out here today when I came out here. But when I got sober at 22 and a half, like I had really not harmed that many people by 22 and a half. So I had harmed enough. But the impact of my using was not as great had I got sober, if that makes sense, at like 45, right? And I don't know that it makes a difference, but I do think that, like, for me, some of the struggles that I had in early sobriety were that, like, I was constantly comparing myself, like, well, my use was bad, but it wasn't as bad as so-and-so's. Or I did this, but I didn't do that. And so in my head, I was looking for the differences, not the similarities. I think if I had gotten sober a little bit later in life, it would have been a lot easier for me. But my journey is different. I mean, I'm very, very grateful I got sober when I did. You know, I have friends of mine that got sober at 40 instead of 22 and a half, and they'll say things to me like, you got to experience so many things in your 20s and 30s that I completely missed out on because I drank and drugged my way through it. So I think there's timing for everything, right? I don't fight it today. When there's something I want, I also, you know, I have a belief in a higher power, and so things happen on God's time, not mine. And I'm a big believer in that. I am a big believer that things happen when they're supposed to happen, you know? And if things don't happen, then, you know, I have to surrender to that idea that maybe it just wasn't meant to happen for me, you know? And maybe I'm supposed to take a different road. I don't get real upset about stuff like that anymore. I used to. I used to get jealous and envious and angry about things and other opportunities that I wish I had had or whatever. I don't do that today. I think because when I look at my life and my journey and the timing of things that have happened for me, they don't look like everybody else's. You know, I grew up in this world where I thought when you turn 18, you start a job or you go to college. Those were your two options. Then you graduate from college or you get promoted to a job. You get an apartment. You get married or you settle down with your partner. You get a good job. You buy a bigger house, whatever. I thought life looked like that. Life doesn't look like that. My life has never looked like that. My life has looked so wackadoodle across the board that my life is not comparable to anybody else's, and neither is yours. And it shouldn't be. And we should never compare ourselves or our lives to somebody else. Okay, I'm just going to finish with that one today, because I don't know how much of this you guys can hear with him working out there. So I'm just going to finish with that one today. Or did he stop? Maybe he's continuing. Anyway, this was a good meditation today, you know? Don't be too hard on yourself. Don't beat yourself up for things that you think, well, I should have got this job promotion, or I should have had this house by this point in my life, or all my friends, you know, they're all doing this and I'm not doing that, and blah, 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 whatever. Your journey is completely different than everybody else's and specific to you. And you wouldn't want your journey to look like somebody else's, because whether there's some spiritual synchronicity or there's nothing at all, what we learn in our lives by the lessons that we teach ourselves, or if there is some, you know, spiritual divineness that teaches us these lessons, the experience that we have, the friendships that we have, the people that we meet, the books that we read, we all respond to all of that in such an individual way. You are unique. Your life experience is unique and should not be compared to anybody else's. Live your life the way that you want to live your life. It is your life. Don't compare it to anybody else's. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.